family told me to maybe wear one of his shirts and jackets. I wasn't too keen on the idea of it. But there's something about these clothes. You feel good when you put them on. So I may start wearing these every day. We're gathered here to celebrate the life of an incredible guy, William Donald Carrass, my best friend. As y'all said, he's known as Tom Ace, Ace Hickok, and my favorite was the Clod of Lauderville, but you forgot he was a trust fund baby, Wicker. There's a few things Wicker, Don told me that maybe you didn't know, is that he played with Pele in Brazil in the 70s. He was part of the Miracle on Ice hockey team in the 80s. He often told people he was John McEnroe's doubles partner. He was a Chippendale dancer. I can't tell you how many reunions we went to. This one was hard to believe, but he taught Jimi Hendrix how to play the guitar. But his greatest accomplishment, put all those aside, was he was 1971 All-County Honorable Mention. Don was a heck of a funny guy, as you can tell. He was a man of great faith, and he had a huge heart. He was a man who helped everyone every day. Don truly is one of a kind. I'm sure everyone in this room has their own Don Carrass story. He made a tremendous impact in our community and always had a smile and a kind word for everyone, sometimes. Years ago, I visited Don in the hospital, and I remember when I turned the corner, I saw this huge crowd outside his door. I'm talking about a big crowd, 3 deep. And they were all there to visit Don and make sure he'd be okay. But the thing I remember most about that day was the question the nurse asked me when I left. She stopped me at home. She said, "Who is that man? He must really be important." I looked at her and said, "That's Big Don Carrass, one of the greatest athletes to ever come out of this county." She said, "Well, I've worked here for over 20 years. I've never seen so many visitors for one patient. He must be very special." I said, "You have no idea, ma'am. Special in so many ways." Don loved to laugh. He loved to make people laugh. Whether you're the waitress at a restaurant, the grocery clerk at Harris Teeter, or the coffee girl at Starbucks, he was gonna make you laugh, and you were gonna get the full effects of Don's humor, and he was hilarious. I already mentioned he was a great athlete, but maybe not as good as Don thought he was. But he actually put her dad in Self-Mix basketball program on the back cover. And of course it read, Don Carrass, 1971, All-County Honorable Mention. But below this, it also said, contact Don Carrass for all your real estate needs. Only problem is Don wasn't a realtor. When I asked him how many calls he had gotten, he gave me the iconic Don answer. He hasn't gotten the response we were all hoping for. I hope you've seen the magazine. It was Don at his best. Another night I remember was being at Sullivan's restaurant when North Carolina basketball player Sleepy Floyd happened to be in a table nearby us, ex-NBA great. And when we got up, Don had to make a scene. And he saw Sleepy, and we knew him. And he said, "Sleepy, let me get this straight." He said it loud enough for 15 tables to hear us. "The top all-time basketball players in North Carolina are you, Michael Jordan, James Worthy, David Thompson, and me, Big Don Carrass, all-county honorable mention." Sleepy's look was priceless. He always had that effect on the room. Another favorite thing he used to do, you walked up to him and he was on the phone, he'd say, "I'll give you $200 million and close by Friday, all cash offer, and that's my final offer." That was classic Don. Don gave me great advice on more than one occasion, as I'm sure he did for many of you. The man had more friends and acquaintances than anyone I've ever met. He always knew exactly how to calm your nerves. He once gave me a response that has always stayed with me forever. I came to him with a problem and he said, "Sims, have you eaten today?" I said, "Yes." He says, "Do you have clothes to wear today?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Do you have a place to sleep tonight?" And I said, "Yes." "Where are you going with this, Don?" He said, "Well, you got better than 95% of the world, so quit your complaining." And after that, he had me bring out a pen and paper and make a gratitude list. But by then, I had to stop worrying. Don was a man of great faith. He attended church every week, read the Bible quite often to stay grounded, as he would tell me. He used to say, "Sims, this is just a sideshow down here on Hotel Earth. The real deal's when we get to heaven." He also told me more than once he had the greatest life, that he wouldn't exchange it with anyone's. I would have to agree with him. Because, see, Don did what Don wanted to do every day. And it doesn't get any better than that. Can you imagine Don with a job and the boss comes in and he says, "Carrass, I'm going to need a report on my desk by Friday." Those of you who know Don well knows how that would have turned out. See, Don was diagnosed with WAS at an early age, work affliction syndrome. He said he was one of the first cases in North Carolina, and they caught it early. My good friend fought cancer with style. His courage was inspirational. His attitude was amazing. He used to say, "I wish that SOB cancer would come out and fight me like a man." He was a warrior, and he fought the good fight until the end. I can say for sure that he wouldn't want anyone here to mourn his loss, but to celebrate his life. Don lived. He truly lived. And how could you ask for any more than that? Recently, I read a tribute to Robin Williams by his good friend Tom Hanks in a magazine. And I quote, "If we never forget how people make us feel, we'll never forget Robin." Well, how appropriate is that for Don? Do you remember how he made you feel last time you were with him? Everyday stresses, worries, problems all seemed to be much smaller after a conversation with him. He was always willing to lighten our load with his quick-witted humor. And oh, what a gift that was. Our lives are a little less bright today, right now. But oh, how bright heaven must be. So I ask you today to think back to your special time or conversation you had with Don and reflect on the joy and the laughter that is shared with all of us. I'm sure you won't be able to do anything but smile. And that's the way Don wants you to remember him. So Don, we all love you, buddy. Thank you for all you did to make our lives a little bit better by knowing you. You will be missed, but never forgotten.